Okay, welcome. So, if you like memes, you're gonna love this episode because in today's episode, we are going to create meme generator with Flutter. Yes, exactly. So, how this is going to work is we can click on the what do we call it? The button. We can select an image. For example, let's select this one, and we can write out the header text. Let it be Flutter everywhere. Okay, so the image will be generated. We can click on save. It will be saved and it will be previewed just below. So let's check if it is being saved. Sorry. Okay, we will go to the photos, and as you can see, this is the right now, this was before, this is right now. Okay, so it's working perfectly fine. So without any further ado, let's get started building it. So this is a new project which I have created named example meme generator. Nothing I have done, just a boilerplate code. So first of all, we will get rid of all the comments. Then we have these, so I'm going to get rid of that. Then we will create a new stateful widget which is going to be called home page. Okay, excuse me, home page. We will get rid of the title because we don't need that, because as we can see in the app, we don't need an app bar. Let me make sure we have app opened up. So as you can see, first of all we have an image, a bit of space, image, space. This is actually a stack, and the stack consists of two things, which is the first is the image and the second is the container. The container includes two text, and the text, there is a text, then there is a spacer, then there is a text. So basically the container child is a column, and the column child children's are text, spacer, and text. Got it? After that we have a text field, then we have another text field, then we have a save button. The share button is not working, of course. I will work on this and update the repository on GitHub. You can get the code from there. And this is the preview window where we can see how our meme has been generated. Okay, so let's create this. So the first thing which we should do is we should get the image resources of these. So I have actually opened up these, so let me directly get these from this. Yeah, so these are the ones. So I'm just gonna copy this. Oh my god, copy. It's not a problem to copy one more image for some time, isn't it? So we'll go to the assets, we'll click on paste. We are going to create a new folder and name it assets, and just we don't need this because it will be get from the storage. Now we can move on. So we have the assets, we have a meme generator, we have a smile, and now let's define them in the pubspec.yaml. So if you go below here, you can find out the assets, just uncomment it, assets slash uncomment that as well, packages.get. Okay, so now there are different packages which we will be using in this project. The first one will be to get the image. Second will be for the different permissions which we require. There is one more package which we will use, which will be for different dio, which will be basically to save the image, and there are more for that. So let me just grab them from this so that it will be much easier than writing them one by one. So I'm just gonna copy them, and as I said, the share one is still in the progress, so I'm gonna remove that and shift tab. Okay, so as I said, we will use an image picker, path provider, image gallery saver to save the image to the gallery, permission handler to make sure we are handling the permission correctly, and die. Then we can just click on packages.get and give it a second or two, actually 5 seconds. Anyways, so let's move on. Now in our screen, we will firstly create a scaffold. Okay, I missed one thing. We need to make sure we have debug mode as false. Okay, so this is just to get rid of that, the corner side. So now we have created a scaffold. Let's start building the UI. So the UI, we can, as I said, this is a vertical arrangement of different widgets. So what we will require is, let me firstly create a body. Inside body we will have a container. The container will include child. The child will be a column. Why we are using column? Because column is vertical arrangement of different widget. So now if we go inside the children, we will firstly say image dot asset, and inside that we will say assets slash what is the name. So the first the name of that smiley is smile dot png. By the way guys, the image is being downloaded from flaticon.com, and this is basically something I have generated from Canva. So yeah, just to give credits. Okay, and image.asset is there. Now we can just give it a bit of sized box. Where are you? How much height? Just 12. Okay, then we will go with another image.assets asset, and then we'll say assets slash what should we name this? Okay, this is meme generator. Meme, I think I have misspelled it. Generator. Anyways, let me just go with that. Hopefully it's correct accordingly. Anyways, okay, so yeah, we have that image. Now what we want, this is a stack which we will be building. So let's directly build that stack will have children's. The first child will be an image dot so this is not going to be something which we are picking up from the asset. We are going to take this from the internal memory, so it will be going to be file. Now let's define this, because of course we are going to get this from a function, and after we will get this, what we will do, we will save it to a file. So I'll name that file an image. I have used this to make it a private. So it's saying, just a second, try changing the name. Okay, I expect it to, okay, so we will import library dart.io, and we will require one more thing. Actually, this is going to be file as well, which is going to be image, let's say file. You can name it anything. Basically this is going to be something which we will be used uh, for the image which will be saved to the memory. Okay, so now it is saying that if there is some kind of error, that is because we have imported both of them, the HTML and IO. So we should go with IO for this. Okay, so everything is fine. Now I can basically say image, this image, because this is the one which we are picking and this is the one which we are saving to the memory. Now of course we don't want this to load when this image is null, which it will be for sure when we open the app for the first time. So we will just check. If it is null, then we will just simply have a container with nothing in it. And one thing which I have make sure over here is giving the image these two containers a particular fixed height. So I will give this image a height of, okay, am I in the correct place? This is the image dot file. I think the height can be given. Okay, so we can say 300. Okay, and this is the container. Okay, after that we will have another container, or you can directly take a column, but it's just much comfortable because you can give it padding and stuff if you require, because we need a bit of padding. We'll see. Okay, so we have a column. Now in the column we will have children's we require first is the text. So this is going to be the header text, and then we need a spacer, and then we will have another text which is going to be a footer text. Okay, this is a spacer, text, and text. Now as you can see over here, if I write something over here, like for example my name Sanskar Tiwari, you can see it's updating at the real time, or whatever you want to call it, over here. So how we are doing that? By using a property of text field on changed. So we are saving that to a string. So let me define those string first. The first string is going to be called header text. The second string is going to be called footer text. Hopefully this spelling should be double T, or any problem, typo. Okay, so footer text. Now just pass these in here, header text and footer text, and we will give them just an initial value blank, not required, but just give it. Okay, so we have the text. Of course we will be adding different kind of styles to it later on, but first of all let's complete the structure of it. So we have a container, we have these text, a spacer in them, We may have some kind of padding, so I'm going to just say edge insets dot symmetric and just give it okay, vertical padding of around 12 maybe, just to give it like a little bit of space. Okay, let's move on and go at below this. So I'll say sized box because I need some space, so I'll say around 20. I think 20 will be fine. Then we can say text field. So this is going to be a text field. Inside the text field, first thing which you can notice, if I will remove everything, there is a hint which is header text. So for that we will use the decoration. We will say input decoration. Inside input decoration there is something called hint text, and over here we can type it that header text. Okay, then we will have a sized box. It's not completed, just give me a second. And we can just copy paste that below, but let me complete this first. So this is the header text hint it have. Now what we will do, we will also use the property, as I said, on changed property, which will give us a value, and we are going to save that value to header text is equals to value. Hope everything is clear. If not, you can easily comment down below and I will be happy to help. So this is on changed and we are providing the value. What next? Similarly, we want to use another text field which is going to be the for the footer. So we will just change it to footer text and we are going to name it footer text. Okay, that's updated. What next? So after that we have this button. So as I said, we are not going to include the share thing, so we are going to have a save button over here. So let me make it something like raise button, and child is going to be a text, and the text is going to be save, and we will have an on pressed property. Okay, so the thing is, what we will need over here is function to take screenshot. Let me directly call them over here. Take screenshot. We will create these functions. It's not, they don't exist right now. Take screenshot, and we also require a function to save that to our memory. So let's create these functions. I'm going to say take screenshot, and okay, so this is take a screenshot. Now we will have a save function as well. Okay, so just to make sure I'm not utilizing a lot of your time, just let me copy paste. It will save your times, and then I'll explain what is happening. Okay, so just remember one thing. So how it will work is basically this particular UI, you can notice this is a stack, right? What we want, write that down. What we want is this particular stack to screenshot only that widget and save that to the memory. So how we are going to use that screenshot functionality? We will go to that stack. Where are you? This is it. We will wrap it with a widget which is going to be render object, I expect. It is render boundary, sorry, it's going to be render boundary. Correct? No. Repaint boundary. Correct. Okay, so repaint boundary it's going to be. Now we will require a key for this so that we can track it and repaint that render boundary. So we will just go over here and we will say final, and we will say key global key, and we'll say new global key. We will copy the key, come over here, and we will type key, then key, and then we will go back and we can basically paste this over here. So it requires importing, I expect. Yeah, for this one we will need the path provider package. For await we need to make sure it's async. For UI image we will go at the top and we will say import UI dot UI slash UI. Okay, that's fine, as UI. And then we have byte data, we will import that. then we have random. So the thing why I am doing this is, let me explain you, and we will do that. Let me just update this. Okay, so what we are doing, we are using a repaint boundary, we are assigning it a key, and then we are using the render repaint boundary, and we are getting the key and getting the object. Then we are using the image, and from that boundary we are converting that to an image. Okay, next step, we are like getting the document directory dot path by data, converting that to png and then saving it. So the reason why I'm using this RNG is basically a random number. Where is it? Let me create one random, not required, random number, RNG, we can call it new random number. Actually, we can call it anyway, you can call it anything. Okay, so hopefully that's gone right. Now this file is basically, we will have, we can have this as a named parameter. So but I'm going to just directly go with file, so we can get rid of that. Okay, so it's easy now to understand that this is basically taking the screenshot and saving it to the memory and then saving it to our image file object. Now we will send this image file to a function which is called save file, and it is going to save that to the memory. How it is going to do that? This way. I know guys, I'm copy pasting a lot of stuff today just to make sure that it's not taking a lot of time. Yeah, so what we will do, we will save file. First of all, we will ask for the permission. Okay, then we will use this package which is image gallery saver, which is helping us to save that image to the gallery. We haven't imported that, so first of all we import this. For the ask permission, it's very like, it's a package guys, so it's not something which is new or something which you need to, it's package. They have like defined this is how to use that, and this is how you should. So this is how we will use that, and let me import it first, permission handler, and we are basically awaiting until the permission has been confirmed. Okay, once they are, then we will execute this, and we are printing the result so that we can see it as well. Okay, now for the permission, it will work easily on the Android without any other things to do, but for iOS to make it work, you have to go to iOS folder, then runner, then info.plist, and you have to paste, where is these lines, these things. So basically what it does is it explains that make sure to submit or paste this after a string, after a string or array. Okay, so what is this? This is simply, okay, what is this happening? Okay, so we are saying that we need the photo library usage, and we will like to add usage. So these are the two permission which we are asking, and this is the description of it. Okay, so this is an example app, that's why I haven't worked a lot on this. Just describe why your app needs the permission, so you have to write something over here. Don't just copy paste this on a production level app, because that will be shown, right? Okay, so that is how we do that for info plist. Is it clear now? Okay, so don't worry guys, I will be providing the source code in the link below, so you can easily get that. That's not a big issue. The thing is to the important thing is to understand, because if you can understand, then it will be easier to execute, and if you wanted to apply it accordingly how you want, then. So this is the take a screenshot, this is the save, and we have the ask file. Now one thing which is missing is the get. So when we click on this button, we want to get the image, right? So for that as well, we have already the same thing, because it's a package, it's just going to be same. So not writing this simple thing for you guys, so it's, let me paste it and explain how it's working. So we are defining a variable image, and then we are using this image picker package. So we will say image equals to await image picker dot pick image. We are using a source as a gallery, so we want to select the image from the gallery only, and if some kind of exceptions happens, we are going to print not line. And we have a set image. What I have done over here is, like, I have used image selected as well, that for some reason if the image is like null, in that case we can make sure that we are not loading that over here, otherwise our app will crash. So for that we can define a boolean. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to call a bool and paste it there. Okay, so we have it now. So both of these options are there, guys. So we can directly call that image is not equals to null, or we can use something like this as a boolean. So if we go in the text field, we can now paste this here, that if it is if image selected is true, then only show this, or else show a container. By the way, what we can do, we can basically paste it something which includes all of these, so that we don't have to provide properties to each and every one. So for that I'm going to just create a column, and it will have children's, and we're going to provide this to that, and this to that, this to that as well. And now we will grab all of these, including the button, because of course all of these are aligned vertically, so we can have them in here. And of course, now if the image is not selected is not true, we have to make sure it's initially false. Okay, so if it's not true, then it will not be visible. So what should be visible? So basically I'm thinking of having something like center text, sorry, child text, and we can say something like select image to get started. Okay, so now we have the get image, but we are not calling it, right? So neither we have a floating action button. So let me close the body and create a floating action button. Over here we will say floating action button. In that we will say child, we will say an icon, and icons dot add image, I think that's what it is called. Yeah, add a photo. Okay, and then we will use an on tap, on pressed functionality. On tap is for gesture detectors and stuff, and we will call the function get image. So it will get the image and set it over here. How is it setting? Because as I said, we are going to save the image in this one. So the image which we are getting from image picker, I'm saving that to this one, and the image which will be saved to like this one, the meme generated, it will be saved to image file. So if we can see at the bottom, we are saving the image, this image, to image file, and then we are saving that to a gallery or local storage basically. So things are working perfectly fine. Now it's time to run the app and see if we are having any errors or things to work on. Of course, we haven't worked on a lot on these styles and stuff, but that's something which we will update in a second. That's not a big deal. The important thing is that app should work, right? So let's give it a second or so and see if it works. By the way, this functionality which we have used over here, which is take the screenshot and save it to the gallery, can be used at a lot of places. For example, I have seen recent tutorials from Pavan Kumar. If you use Flutter, most probably you may know him. So he have made one tutorial on creating a paint app, right? So many people were commenting over there how to save that to the memory. So you can basically apply the same strategy over there, that you can surround that by a repaint boundary, and then you can call that render repaint boundary, and you can basically take the screenshot of it and then you can save that, right? So it can be useful in that. You can even create a image editing app with this, right? Because in image editing app we have different thing like text, and we can add emojis and stuff. Okay, so what is the error which we are facing? We have render boundary, needs paints, composite hair size. Okay, so the one thing which I missed over here is, just a second, go at in the body. Where is body? Here's body. So in body we will, as I said, I have given it a height of 300, so we want to make sure that other container have the same height as well, because the spacer will like try to take as much space as possible, which is not the right thing, right? and it is saying on null. So what is null, by the way? Paint needs compositing bits update. um this is very big. I don't want that to be this. So let's say fine, let me just give it a sized box of height 50, so that it's not like that. It's still too big, but enough, good enough. And 70 something, I think, be fine. Okay, so you can see this, we have that, we have a floating action button. Let's see if it works. Okay, so this is what I said, in the info dot, sorry, in the info.p list, where we said use to demonstrate image picker. Same, this is how it will be visible, so make sure to describe it accordingly. Click on OK. I will click on OK, so it allows. Now let's see, which one should I select? For example, this one. Okay, so I have typed it. Okay, so the one thing which you can notice, it's not updating. What's the reason for that? The reason for that is we are not using a set state. Where are you? This is it. Let me use the set state. Let me check it out. Okay, it's working fine now. So let me do that same for footer text as well. Set state and save it. Okay, so now if I, okay, the one thing which I do want this, I want this to be uppercase only. So for that I will just basically come over here, and where we are setting the text, not over here. Where are we setting the text? Yeah, so I'll say just dot to uppercase, copy, save. Okay, so you can see even when we have written it in smaller case, lower case, it's converted to uppercase. um, One thing is there as well, the vertical padding which we have provided symmetrically is, we don't want to provide a padding, we rather want to provide margin, I should say. Let me see if I remove that, because it's going to be outside of it, right? So I think it's not covering it perfectly, so I'll say fit box fit height. Okay, now it's perfect. We may require a little bit of space from there. I'll say sized box height 30. Okay, as I can see, this is very small, so I need to update the text and all. So let's do that now. Where are you? It's 28 minutes. So thanks guys for watching till now. I'll make sure that you have a great project. Okay, so it's going to be style, then we will say text style, and then it's going to be colors dot white, and then we have, this is colors dot white, and we also want to give it a kind of width, right? Means the weight we call it actually, but font weight dot 600, I think. How is that? Nope, not very good. Let me increase the font size first. So font size, let's make it very big, around 24. Good enough. 26. Not sure what we were using in that, but I think that looks fine, right? Yeah. We also want to make sure that this is in the center, not this kind of corner. So for that we will say main axis alignment dot center, and we have to make sure that it is saying taking the whole space. So we'll say media query dot off context dot size dot width. So this basically gets the width of the device which we are using, right? So I'm giving the container whole width so that our column can take the whole width and arrange it in the center of the whole width of the labs. Right now you can see how it works, and we can see there is kind of padding will be better. So I'm just going to go to text, I'm going to add a widget, I'm going to say it. You can add a container or directly add padding. I just prefer to do it this way. It's not something fixed. Dot I'll say symmetric, I'll say vertical. I want around 12. No, that's too much. Okay, fine. I'm going to copy that padding, go for the next text, surround it with a container, paste this, and then we will also copy these styles because it's going to be very same for this one as well. Okay, so we can save and arrange it. Okay, so till now we can see this one is actually going in the second line and not arranged properly. So there's one property which we have to use in this, because you can see the alignment of this is like in the the left hand side, which is the actual how the English text is arranged. But for our requirement, we want that to be arranged in center. So we'll say text align. Okay, not in the text style, but actually in the text itself. So I'll say text align. Oh my god, what is happening? Where are you? Text align, yeah. So we'll say text align dot center. We can copy that, paste it there, and save it. So now you can see it's in the center. Now we also want to give it that shadow, right? So before that, let me give this a padding so that it's like from the sides. So we have this in the column, so I can just wrap this column in a container, and I can say padding edge insets dot symmetric. I'll say horizontal around 12. That looks fine. Okay, what about 20? Yeah, it's fine. Now we will just have this. Where is the on quest? I'm just gonna have a sized box of height 20 and save. Okay, so we have this box, and right now if I click on save, it is generating it, but it's not visible over here. So what is happening is, if we go to save image, where are you? We are calling the take a screenshot, but we are even setting that, yeah, we are updating that even like in the set status, so that it can recreate, but it's not updating. So let's see what's the reason for that is. We have the okay, so this is the container, this is the raised button, this is the select to get started, and this. Okay, where is the image? That's what I'm searching for. Have we not added that? I thought we did add that. Oh my god, I'm so forgetful. Okay, so this is actually a column, so we will basically have an image dot asset. No, file. Yeah, I'll say image file. Did I have done it again already? I'm not sure why I'm remembering it. I have done it. No, I haven't. Okay, we will basically say image file not equals to null. Then only we will basically do this, and if it is null, then just show it a container. And now we're going to reload the image, the whole app actually. So we'll select the image to get started. We'll select this one, and I'll type that movement when you submit first app. First Flutter app, and click on save. Okay, it's going right. Now the thing is, like, it should be scrollable, right? So for that, what we will do, we'll go to the main container and wrap it with a widget which is going to be called single, not called, it's already named. Okay, you can see it now. Let me see if it has been saved. Okay, so it's not something. Let me say something random. This is something random. This is something random. Okay, now let's see if it is saved or not. So if we go to photos, yes, this is random. Okay, so this is working perfectly fine. The one thing which is missing, Okay, so the time is 34 minutes, so let's not take any more time. Let me just the one thing which is missing is the shadow as well. So let me just grab it text and show you guys how we can add a shadow to the text. Okay, so this is exactly how we use shadow. Is a direct property, so it's not something very complex stuff. You can simply go to the text. For example, this is the text which we have, and I can inside the text style we can give this property shadow. So I'll say shadow. Similarly in this one I'll say shadow and save. So now we have some shadow as well. Okay, so we have completed everything guys, and it's just 35 minutes. Congratulations if you have completed till now. You have completed your a great app for your portfolio, or you may have, of course, have learned something new which you can apply not only to this app or to others as well. So yeah, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll make sure that more and more good content will be continue to flow.